Well, howdy, folks. Welcome to an extraordinary journey through time. Let's take a trip down the Nile and talk about ancient Egypt, one of the most fascinating civilizations in human history. They weren't messing around back then, starting around 3100 BC. That's over 5,000 years ago. That's even before sliced bread. Imagine they were already baking bread in ancient ovens, using techniques that have been passed down through generations. For over 3,000 years, they built an amazing civilization. Their architectural feats, like the pyramids, still boggle the mind today. We're talking pharaohs, pyramids, the whole shebang. The Sphinx, with its enigmatic smile, has watched over the desert for millennia. They had it figured out from farming to writing. Hieroglyphs, their unique writing system, tell us stories of gods, kings, and everyday life. But like a summer barbecue, all good things must end. The sun set on their civilization, but their legacy lives on. Around 30 BC, the Romans decided they wanted a piece of the action and conquered Egypt. This marked the end of an era, but also the beginning of a new chapter in Egyptian history. It was the end of an era, but boy, did they leave their mark on the world. Today, tourists from all over the globe visit Egypt to marvel at its ancient wonders, and museums proudly display Egyptian artifacts, keeping the spirit of this incredible civilization alive. Speaking of leaving a mark, let's talk pharaohs. These weren't your average rulers. Oh no, they were like the kings and queens of a deck of cards, except with way cooler headwear. Take King Tut, for instance. He became pharaoh at the ripe old age of 9. Talk about pressure. And then there's Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt. She knew how to make an entrance, even meeting her end with the help of an asp. Talk about going out with a bang. Now, you can't talk about Egypt without mentioning the pyramids. These iconic structures have stood the test of time, towering over the desert landscape for thousands of years. These weren't built overnight, folks. The construction of these monumental structures required meticulous planning, advanced engineering, and a workforce that was both skilled and dedicated. They were massive projects, taking decades and thousands of workers. Imagine the sheer effort and coordination needed to move those enormous stones, some weighing as much as 80 tons across the desert. Can you imagine the teamwork? It's like building a giant Lego set, but with a lot more sweat and probably a few more arguments. The workers had to be in perfect sync, using ramps, sledges, and sheer human strength to achieve their goal. The pyramids were tombs for the pharaohs, and they were filled with all sorts of treasures. These treasures were meant to accompany the pharaohs in the afterlife, ensuring they had everything they needed for eternity. We're talking gold, jewels, you name it. The craftsmanship of these artifacts is astounding, showcasing the incredible skill of ancient Egyptian artisans. It's like finding a hidden treasure chest, except you probably shouldn't open this one. These treasures are invaluable pieces of history, giving us a glimpse into the opulence and grandeur of ancient Egypt. Why don't they play poker in the jungle? Too many cheetahs. But seriously, the pyramids are a testament to human ingenuity and the desire to leave a lasting legacy. Section 4, Life on the Nile. It's not all hieroglyphics. But life in ancient Egypt wasn't all about pharaohs and pyramids. While the grand monuments and the tales of mighty rulers often steal the spotlight, the everyday life of the common people was just as fascinating and vital to the civilization's success. Regular folks were living their lives, farming, raising families, and trying to stay cool in that desert heat. The farmers, for instance, played a crucial role in sustaining the entire society. They toiled under the scorching sun, cultivating crops like wheat and barley, which were staples of the Egyptian diet. They even had their own version of bowling. This ancient game involved rolling stones at a set of pins, much like the modern game we know today. Leisure activities were an essential part of their lives, providing a much-needed break from the daily grind. It wasn't exactly the same, but hey, you gotta make your own fun. Children and adults alike engaged in various games and sports, fostering a sense of community and joy. And let's not forget about the Nile River. This mighty river was the lifeblood of ancient Egypt, providing not only water for crops, but also a means of transportation and trade. It was their lifeline, providing water for crops and transportation. The ingenious irrigation systems they developed allowed them to harness the river's power, turning arid land into fertile fields. It was like their very own superhighway, except instead of cars, you had boats. These boats were essential for moving goods and people up and down the river, facilitating trade and communication between different parts of the kingdom. And instead of traffic jams, you had, well, probably still traffic jams. The Nile was bustling with activity, with boats of all sizes navigating its waters, sometimes leading to congestion and delays. What do you call an Egyptian who takes care of your pool? A pharaoh away cleaner. Even in ancient times, humor and lighthearted moments were a part of daily life. reminding us that despite the passage of millennia, some things never change. Section 5, wrap it up. Ancient Egypt's gift to the world. Well, folks, that's ancient Egypt in a nutshell. They left behind a legacy that continues to fascinate us today. From their art and architecture to their mathematics and medicine, they made incredible contributions to the world. It's like they say, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Except for the whole pharaoh thing. We're not quite ready to bring that back just yet. Section 6. Jokes. Because history shouldn't be dry as a tomb. Why don't mummies ever take vacations? They're afraid they'll relax and unwind. What do you call a lazy kangaroo? A pouch potato.